to the Woolly Mammoth Fibre Company podcast. My name is Emma and we are on episode 50. I have a natural dye company called Woolly Mammoth Fibre Company and I dye yarn. So I'm coming to you today with a podcast about what I've been making, what I've been knitting, and a few other things that are coming in the festive shop update, which is on the 20th of November. So I'm pretty excited about that because I've been really working away at making it a good one for you all. So I'll maybe just start with what I'm wearing. Hope you're all settled in. You have your cozy fire on and your drink with you. This is my sweater number 18 by My Favourite Things Knitwear. I knitted this about a year ago actually, and I used my Causeway yarn, which is a Teeswater and Oxford down, and I held that together with my natural sock yarn, which is a blend of Blueface Leicester and Cheviot. And one of them is woolen spun and one of them is worsted spun, so it creates this really nice fabric, which is so nice. I recently washed this and I used maybe slightly controversially, I used a Vanish soap bar because it had a huge dark stain here and it took it out really well. So if you're looking for something that'll take out stains, I would maybe try that. And it didn't seem to affect the yarn or the dye in any way. The Causeway was undyed, I think, and the natural sock was a very light pink. This is one of my most worn sweaters. I love the fit and yeah, I really enjoy wearing this. So maybe I should just start on what I'm working on here. This is, I'm going to pop my little stitch stoppers on before it falls off the needles. So I have been test knitting a pattern for Laura Penrose called the Maxine sweater, and she designed it in my yarn, so I want to, A, obviously because I love the pattern, but B, because I want to have a sample. I say a sample, you'll see by the end of this I have more than one. So this is my 3 colour version. And these are all my yarns that I dyed myself. And there's kind of a little bit of a story behind this because, so you can either knit a 3 colour version or a 6 colour version. So this is my 3 colour sample. I have 2 3 colour samples on the go at the current time. And pretty much it's been a very addictive knit. That's why I've cast on 2 yokes. So this isn't actually the first one I made. The first one I made is in a different colour. I'll show you in a minute. But so it was designed in my Hearth sock yarn, held with a strand of mohair. That's not something I normally stock in the shop, but I decided on this occasion to get it into the shop because it would be really nice to have a sample that was totally naturally dyed. Because in my first sample that I started, I used the Isager silk mohair. I'll just get it out and show you now. So there's no point in talking about it. It's a little bag from Sandy by the lakeside. We met up in Dublin a few weeks ago and she gave me this. So this is my first sample. And there's the Isager silk mohair away. It's very nice silk mohair. So this is the first one I did. This is the second one I did. I was always in the autumn spirit when I cast this one on, but now I'm kind of in the winter spirit. So yeah, this is my first sample and it was very addictive to knit. I did make a little mistake in the 3rd chart, but you probably won't be able to see it anyway. Even Laura couldn't see it when I didn't say exactly where it was. I'm not going to go back and fix this one because I'm happy with how it looks. So I've just popped this on a barber cord to hold it. It's I would say it's a very beginner friendly colour work pattern because you only hold 2 yarns together ever, and also there's only 2 rows in the star chart where I would catch floats. You probably could get away without it, but I caught them. So very simple, and all the increases are on, not on Colorwork rows obviously. So I'd say this is quite a good beginner project. If you've never done Colorwork, this could be quite a nice little project to start on. I have these little stitch markers on because I'm having them in the shop update by Where Meadows Grow. This is my little autumn one. And then I've got a little winter one here somewhere. Oh yeah, here it is. It's so cute. You probably can't see here, but it's actually, she paints on the top of the little mushrooms. So cute. And yeah, I actually did make a mistake in this as well. But it's a very easy one that I can just duplicate stitch over. I just missed a wee white stitch in the middle of this chart here. And I only noticed when I had just finished this chart here. So it's like, oh, it's only like it's maybe only about 15 stitches. I can just fix that if I want to, or leave it, whatever. So yeah, you can see here what it should. See that wee bit there? I missed it here. So yeah, I'm just really on a stroke of colour work. The yarn for this one was my Hearth sock as well, in the copper colourway, and the blue colour is called Midnight Oil. The Isager Silk Mohair colourway, I think is 63, I think it's called. I'll have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And the Hearth sock is held with the strand of silk mohair, and then the natural sock and the Hearth sock are both undyed, and they are just held double for these Colorwork sections, and it creates a really nice thick fabric. So this would work out probably around DK weight, I would say. But yeah, it's going to be super warm. There's the inside, because I know some of you like that. So on these two, I'm going to be doing just a normal folded neckband. So that'll be really fun and nice to do. I'm actually further on with the blue one than I am with the rust one, even though I started with the rust one. This is crazy looking. I've just started the short rows on my blue one, and I'm really enjoying them, German short rows. I used to hate German short rows, and now I absolutely love them. I can't get enough of them. I'm so addicted to doing them, and it's like colour work to me. It's like whenever you start them, it's really hard to like leave it down. Yeah, I don't know, does anyone else feel that way about German short rows? Yeah, absolutely love them. So these are my joyful projects at the minute. I'm planning on finishing the blue one during December, and then I might pick up the rust one maybe in the spring, we'll see. I'd like to be knitting one during Vlogmas, so I think the winter one would be perfect for that. And I'm at the point now where all my colour work's finished on both of the samples actually, so I'll just be knitting the body and the sleeves and the neckband to the cuffs, etc. And these are my two, the Hearth sock and the silk mohair. The silk mohair, I'll have it in a few colours, but these are the colours that I've used for my sweater obviously, so this is what I've dyed the most of. And I dyed these using my new indigo vat, which is a fermentation vat, which is I'm very in love with, let's just say. I'm going through my blue phase, and I'm really enjoying the dyeing process of that. So that is my 3 colour samples. Then I decided in my wisdom to get a 6 colour sample made up. So I got a local knitter to knit me up, because Laura designed it. First of all, she designed the 6-colour version, which I provided yarn support for, and then she wanted to do a 3-colour version, and I said that's a great idea, I'll give you yarn support for that too. So I kind of want to have one of each to show. So I'm just going to try this on because there's a few little things around it that I could talk about. I've brought you a little bit closer so hopefully you can see this. So yeah, this is the 6-colour version. I'll sit nice and close so you can see the colour work. I went for a turtleneck on this one because I want to have something different. I do think the yoke is marginally too long this way, because when I want to do stuff I kind of want to do that. The sample knitter did run out of one of the colourways on the last chart, so I had an extra one in a different colour, so she just used that. So if you're buying the kit for this, that might happen to you. These are all size 4, so probably if you're a size 1, 2 or 3, you'll be fine with this, but I don't have any spares in the colours of the natural sock to go with that. But you could swap one of the other colours, just because there's some left of the other colours. You could easily just put a wee bit of that in, it would look completely fine. The reason the yoke is marginally long is because well, obviously with like a yoke sweater you're supposed to check your row gauge and your stitch gauge, and the sample knitter did that. However, when I got the sample, it was quite tightly knitted. I'm a very loose knitter, so I never have this problem, but basically I had to block it quite aggressively to get it to sit flat, and in doing so I probably changed the gauge from what it should have been to slightly longer, because I was probably blocking it. I blocked it this way and this way, but yeah, that just made it so that it was slightly too long. I actually used what was my Primaveral set and added a mini skein of Hearth sock undyed, and I added, did I add another colour? Maybe I did. So I will have some of these in the shop on the 20th, and I'm gonna just individually put up all the colours for these. Look at all these Maxines. So yeah, I'll put all these up individually, and then I'll have this up as a kit probably. So for example, like if you have a set of my mini skeins, or if you have some of my 50-gram skeins, or just even my 100-gram skeins, you want to use them in a project, you can do so without having to buy a full kit. Or maybe you have silk mohair you want to use, or maybe you have an undyed skein that you want to use. So you'll be able to buy like the background colour separately, the contrast colour separately. So you can just top up with whatever you need, because this here would actually be a really good like scrappy project, because although this is 6 colours, you could easily use probably 12 if you wanted to. So yeah, you could potentially use it for, and like if you have like an advent, doing minis, like my advent calendar, you could probably use that for this project. It would be really cool. So yeah, that's just a little, I did spot a couple of mistakes in the Colorwork yoke, but I don't think you would notice. It's just the fact that I've now knitted 2 of them that I noticed the mistakes, but it turned out really good. And this gives a very different vibe to this, I feel. This is very like 70s après-ski, and this is more like slightly more modern looking, I would say. I don't know why. What do you think? So that's my 3 that's my 3 Maxines. I'm gonna take this off because it's really, really warm. So I have some Scrappy socks on the go. They have been on the go for a while, let's just say. I started these back in the summer, and I'm housing them in my little woolen flower bag, which I love. It's one of my favourites. And I got on so well with these at the start. And I think I did a YouTube video about these, or maybe it was on Patreon, I'm not exactly sure. But I started these back in the summer with colours from my very first advent that I did. And I made this magic knot ball. And I just decided to start like a pair of colour block type socks. So that's what I did. And I'm using a pair of vintage needles that I found in a charity shop here. They only cost like 50p, so I got two sets, so I have 2 sets of these DPNs. So technically I could knit 2 at a time. I'm not. So I cast on here with a bigger size of needle. No, I didn't. I cast on 72 stitches. Then after I did the cuff, I reduced to 64 and knit it down the leg. And then I decided when I got to the heel that I would change colour. No, I ran out of the colour. I knitted until I ran out of the first colour and then I changed for the heel. Then what happened was I knitted the heel and then I thought it would look weird if it was the same colour for the gusset. So I had this bit of natural sock left and it was from like another project. So I just decided to use that for the gusset. I just did like a heel flapping gusset, which is pretty standard for me. I don't use a pattern, I just have the pattern in my head for this yarn and for my Hearth sock. I did a whole video about knitting with nylon free yarn, so if that's of interest to you, I'll put a link below and you can check it out. But basically the key things are, if you're doing that and using a non-superwash yarn, you want to make sure that your sock is long enough. You want to make sure it's big enough so that when you wear it, there's room for it to fill, which makes it stronger. So that's what I always do. I knit it about 1.5 centimeters longer than the length of my foot. So after the first like 3 wears, it becomes the size of my foot, and then, yeah. I think that's kind of how they used to do it back in the day when they had people knitting like stockings and stuff. I think I maybe talked about this one time before. I have a book called The Old Hand Knitters of the Dales, and they talk about knitting stockings bigger in order to felt them so that, yeah, they would be as hard wearing as possible. You want to get a really dense stitch gauge. These are 2mm needles, and I think around 35 stitches per 10 centimeters is ideal. So also bear in mind, if you're knitting with non-superwash and nylon free sock yarns, that you may need to cast on more stitches than if you're knitting with like a normal sock yarn with nylon, etc. So yeah, and this wee pumpkin stitch markers from Chapel View Crafts. So I haven't really picked this up very much, to be honest. Yeah, I should make it my knitting project, but I haven't yet. So it's languishing in favour of all the Maxines. I do also intend to make a Maxine hot water bottle cover, and I am planning on doing some kits for that, for this shop update, but I haven't quite got around to putting those together yet. I'll probably do that tomorrow. So yeah, I can't show you those, but they will come at some point. Also, I have a few languishing whips. I'm not going to show them to you because you probably all know them. Unfortunately, one of them is the one that I was knitting in my last podcast episode, which I was loving then. It's the Chestnut Sweater by Petite Knit, and it's in my Natural Decay in the Poppy colourway. I can show you the colourway because I have a huge basket of yarn here. I'm knitting it in this colourway, and I loved it when I cast it on. I mean, I still love it, but again, I seem to be like really into a project when it's like the interesting bits. So for example, the Maxines, I just flew through the yoke. So interesting, brilliant. Chestnut Sweater had a really nice easy cast on, and it started at the top back, And then you knitted these 2 panels for the front, and then as soon as I joined in the round, I was like ready for something else. So I don't know what that says about me, but eventually I'll have a lot of nice sweaters. The chestnut sweaters by Petite Knit, if I didn't say that already. The other 2 languishing whips I have is the Vilna top by Gregoria Fibers in my Natural DK. I spoke about it extensively, I think, in my last podcast, but I've just set that aside. Even though I really wanted the garment, I wasn't enjoying knitting it, and I was like actually kind of close to finishing it, but I was like, oh, just not really enjoying it anymore, so left it to the side. The other one is my Heli sweater by Tonya Hodney, and I think I'm using my Hearth sock and my Blueface Leicester Gotland 4-ply held together, which creates a really nice fabric. But again, I'm at the point in that where it's like just stockinette, so I'm kind of like, I don't have as much like interest in knitting it, so I just pick it up now and again, or if, you know, I need something really easy. But in general, I'm not finding the stockinette so exciting at the moment, so I just want to knit like everything colourwork. I don't have any great desire to knit lace. I don't have any great desire to do cables, although I think I did talk about in the last episode want to knit a Dagmar jacket by Petite Knit, and I think that would be really good for me if I could get into it. I've never really knitted that many cables, only on one project by Vanessa Palisa called the Kume cardigan. So I think I could get into cables, but it would require so much mental energy at this point, and I already know how to knit colourwork, that I've been kind of putting it off. I might cast it on in December, we'll see how that goes. And I was going to knit it in one of my new yarns that's coming in this shop update, if I could find it, which is the Blueface Gotland, Blueface Leicester and Gotland Iron Weight. Here is 3 examples. Can you tell, like, I really like this colour? Subliminal colour choices. I was going to knit it in the grey actually, because I'm finding that, weirdly enough, I seem to gravitate towards lighter coloured garments when I'm not dyeing. When I'm dyeing, I always wear dark colours. So I thought this could be really stunning to show off the cables in the Dagmar. This is just undyed. These 2, again, not everything I dye, it's blue by the way. These are 2 colours that I dyed. This one, they were both dyed with indigo. They had 4 dips over a day in the indigo vat, and then this one was over dyed with wild, and this one was over dyed with madder. So, and then you can see kind of what the true indigo colour is like if it's not over dyed, would be more like this. I don't know if that really captures it, but yeah, so both of these colours will come in the shop update. I haven't named them yet, so if you want to put a name below, you can do that. But you can see, like, this is obviously one of my heart colours, this teal. But I also really like this one. It's a real navy marine type blue, so I love that. But then if I knitted it in grey, it would go with like all of my clothes. So yeah, so I'll have these 3 colours in this new base plus this one. This is Clove Rock. But can you imagine undyed and either this, undyed and this, or undyed and this for a colourwork sweater? I'm here for it. 3 very different colours, but all really nice. I am kind of limited in amounts of these, but I've tried my best to do what I can. In terms of dream knits, my only dream knits that I have at the moment, really, need to put another stick in the fire. What are my dream knits? The Dagmar, obviously, I've just said that. My dream is to also finish finish this in December, although I've already started, so that's not really dream knit, is it? I would love to cast on a pair of yellow socks. DK weight, so I'm going to hold my natural sock double. That also is really good for like my DK weight socks. Like I always wear boots in the winter pretty much. I'm not wearing boots inside, but I always gravitate towards my DK weight socks for my winter boots. And I wear them a lot, the DK weight ones in the winter. So I think I talked about this in the last episode, I have a darker yellow and a lighter yellow. And I'm going to marl them together to do a 3x1 rib DK sock for my boots. So when I'll cast that on, I have no idea. Maybe in the new year. I'm a super slow knitter. I don't like, although it probably seems like I whizzed through these. I was off on holidays for 5 days and that's when I knitted this. And this I've just been doing a few rows every evening over the last few weeks. And generally if I enjoy something, I'll knit it quicker and become more obsessed with it. But if I'm not enjoying it, something, you know, like I'll just stall in all the other projects. And although it looks as if I have lots of things that I'm knitting, truly I only have one because that's the thing that I always work on. But I like to have a few options, you know. Don't want to always be tied down to one project. So yeah, I don't really have any dream knits. In terms of acquisitions, the only thing that I've bought recently has been a few spare sets of needle tips. So that's not very exciting to show you. But I do have some juicy nice things coming in the shop, which I might show you. I've already showed you the Aran weight BFL Gotland. And I thought I would show you the rest of, well, definitely not all of the yarns that I have coming, but it's a selection of what I have coming because I have way too much to show you on here. I also have, because it's my biggest update of the year, I also have loads of little extras, fun little festive things that you might be into. And I'll talk a bit about those after because it's kind of funny, some of the stuff, but I think you'd be into it. So we'll start with the natural DK. I just brought out a few skeins to show you what I have. Because my indigo vat is kind of new, like it's just maybe like 2 months old, I actually have quite a lot of blue stuff in different shades and tones, but yeah, I actually skipped my October update so that I'd have lots of stuff for the festive update. The festive extravaganza. So I have much more than this, but this is a selection of what I have. So this is cornflower. And this is sapphire. So these would be really nice together. Unfortunately, I'm all out of undyed natural DK. So if you were doing colour work, you might, I think I have some jasmine that would work really well. Aren't these colours like so nice? This is the same as my natural sock, but it's not high twist, so it wouldn't be suitable for socks. But basically I designed this to be good for garments. And it's a really, really nice yarn to use and would be good for colour work. And it's a really cosy yarn and very voluminous, as I'm sure you can tell. And it's a good substitute for, as far as I remember, the Peer Gynt. It's about the same meterage. It's 200 meters per 100 grams. And I've just noticed that I have labelled these wrong. I have to change that. But yeah, these are super good for sweaters. Would be really nice for a hat as well. Maybe I have some plans for a hat actually. I seen a pattern by Willie Smith. He was on my podcast a while ago. I think it's called the Nostalgia hat and it's in a DK weight yarn, I think. So I would be kind of keen to knit that actually. Looks really good. I seen someone had he had a really nice one on his Instagram story. So yeah. And then this is the Poppy colorway. Just a classic. Like this and the tail would go so nice together. Actually, look at that. Christmas, but not like over the top. Do you know what I mean? I also dyed this. with a lot of my dye plants from the garden. So I used Rudbeckia and I used Dyer's Chamomile, and then I used an exhaust bath for the pink of what was left over, and this is called Glitter Crackling, and I made some of this in my September update when I launched this yarn. Just by the way, once I put this in the shop of what I have, this is all I'm going to have for a year, so if you want something, now would be a good time to get it. I'm not going to be restocking this for a while, but it's a really nice yarn and it got a really, really good reception, so made me really pleased. So yeah, I'll have more colours than this, but this is just what I brought down to show you. So that's Iron Weight DK. My other DK weight yarn is the Hearth DK, and again I have way more than this, but I just brought this little selection down to show you what I have. So this is the Cognac colourway. Again, not suitable for socks. This is Jacob and Blueface Leicester. This is really good for sweaters. You could also hold it with silk mohair to make an iron weight. That would be kind of fun to see what fabric you get. You could also do that with the natural DK. I haven't tried that yet, but I kind of want to. So maybe I'll do a little swatch with that. This is the copper colourway. And this is the DK weight version of what I knitted my Maxine #1 in. It's bad when you have to refer to your projects by numbers because you've knitted the same one so many times. Mustard green. I've actually changed the recipe a little bit of this recently, so might look a little bit different, but I don't think it does look that different. And mulberry. And because this yarn is light grey, actually this in the tulle goes really nice. Look at that. This has a grey base, whereas my other DK yarn, the natural DK, has a white base. You get a very different like look of the colour. So that's kind of interesting. Again, have way more than that, but that's just what I brought down. That's what I could put in my basket to bring and show you. I'm going to have a very, very limited amount of my Galway yarn dyed with indigo. So it's very different. It's a sport weight, 300 meters per 100 grams, so very, very crispy. All of my other yarns, apart from the silk mohair, which I'm not sure about, but all my other yarns are spun in England. I hope I got that right. This one was spun in Donegal in Ireland, and the yarn is sourced from all over Ireland, from Ireland's native breed of sheep, the Galway sheep. Did loads of videos on it, you can go back and watch them, but if you like a nice crispy yarn, this is what the original iron sweaters were knitted in, the Galway sheep breed. So if you're interested in that, that could be a thing. We'll move on to the natural sock. Finger and weight yarns. So I did quite a lot of the natural sock. Again, I've dyed pretty much most of what I have of this. I think I've got a box or two left. But once this is gone, this will be gone for a while. So we have Poppy, which you've already seen. There is Frosty Whiskers, which is a new colourway that I made up. It's kind of a one of a kind. It reminds me of like ice or something, but it is tonally varied, although maybe you can't really pick that up on the camera. There is Feast by the Fire. I do this every festive update and everyone always loves it. Again, same thing with Holly. It's got wee speckles of red and green in it. So a nice one for nice festive pair of socks. Bog Cotton, not yet labelled. Lime Wash, which would be a nice one to pair with this indigo dyed one. The Lime Wash looks undyed, but it's not. So basically, I've dyed it in a really light bath of like a logwood to kill off the creaminess of the base colour, which I think works really well if you pair it with another cool toned colour like this blue, which I haven't got a name for yet. And then we have the ones that I dyed from the garden. This one I called it Jelly Babies. Oops, Jelly Babies. And it's a really fun little colourway, and it would be super nice in a shawl, I think. And then this one again, dyed from the garden. This is Rebecca and Coreopsis Bouquet, I've called it. Then I just brought down a couple of colours of the Hearth sock. I tried to mainly stick to dyeing the colours for the Maxine because I'd say that's what people will be most interested in. So this is Midnight Oil and Copper. So that's the two colours mine are in. And I have my new Silk Mohair yarn. I will actually have a few colours of this. So this one was to kind of match the copper colorway, but it went like a bit more orange rather than like rust toned. But I think it will still look really nice with the copper colorway. Alternatively, I think it would actually look really good with this, with the Rudbeckia and Coreopsis bouquet. Don't know what you do with it, but it'd make a super cool hat, wouldn't it? That would kind of give you like a DK sport weight to DK weight. And then I'll have 3 different tones of the blue in it. The lightest one is called Cirrus. It's kind of like a sky blue, I would say. The sky on a good day. And then there's Sapphire, the top one, and Midnight Oil. This one here. I don't know if you can tell the difference, but this one's one shade lighter. And if you wanted to have a little more difference between the Hearth sock and the Silk Mohair, you could, instead of going for the same amount of, these each had 4 dips each, you could go for one with 3 and one with 4, and that would create an interesting effect. It's very, very subtly marled. So that's everything I have in terms of yarn. Everything I have to show you in terms of yarn. Literally, I have so much yarn in the studio. Yeah, definitely not bringing it up. So this is my little basket of excitement. I don't even have everything here because I couldn't carry it up to the house, but I have a lot of nice things coming. So where do I start? I'm going to have candles. I'm going to have field day candles. These are made in Northern Ireland. All like nice wintry themes. The fir one, they're all soy wax candles. They smell so good. And like I haven't obviously took the wrapping off, but it smells so good. So I'll have 3 or 4 different types of their little candles in the cardboard tubes. Then I also went for their tin candles, which I love as well. This one is called Home. And me and my dad both love this one. It smells kind of like a garden, but not like a grassy smell. It smells kind of like, how would you describe it? Very slightly floral, but also homely, like earth, not really. A wee bit earthy maybe. It says it is tea leaves and nutmeg. So that, I would say the tea leaves is like Earl Grey tea leaves. That's what it smells like to me. And I'll also have this one, which is Belong. And I'll just read you what it says here. This one is flowering gorse and honey. And if any of you have ever smelled gorse, you'll know it's that kind of like vanilla, but not sickening vanilla. It's like kind of slightly floral as well, but not like sickly. It's also kind of like fresh. I don't know if you have wind bushes anywhere else, but that's the colloquial term. But I'll just read you what it says. We could learn a lot from our tribal ancestors. They wandered in the wild, laid down roots, and patiently waited out blustery storms. So here's to them and to you. May you find a home wherever you wander. So I just thought that was kind of nice. And they smell really good, and I'm quite fussy about scents. So yeah. I'll also have Neri Nog's drinking chocolate. So I'll have some of that, and this is really good quality drinking chocolate. There's only 2 ingredients, the cocoa mass and sugar. It's 60% cocoa mass, which is like quite, makes it not too sweet. And like, in my opinion, it's the best hot chocolate. I've tried a lot, and this one is by far my favourite. I'll also have these little stitch markers. And as well as this, I'll have blue ones by Where Meadows Grow. And she creates such nice detail on them. Like, she does all the gills. I don't know if you could see that. And like, look at this little pink one. She spotted it. Sorry, this little pink one. She spotted the stem on the mushroom. You probably can't see. The detail is brilliant. And obviously, I'll have the blue celestial ones that I have here as well, which she actually painted little stars on. Look at that. Don't know if you can see it, but it's really such a nice little progress keeper. I'll have some soap for your body. It's called Soap in a Rope in about 4 or 6 different scents. I didn't bring that out. I'll also have the Sheer Delight wool wash bars. I will have Laura Boyd Ceramics is coming back to the shop, of course. And this is her deep winter mugs, which I actually love. So I'll definitely have to keep one for myself. I have a rather nice collection of them now, but I think this glaze that she did here kind of looks like a forest, like a winter forest, which I love. And she made some tealight holders to go along with it as well. And last but not least, I have a selection of Kaweco pens. These are the first 2 colours that I'll have. This one's red, it's called. It's just called red, I think. And this one's called Bordeaux. And these are fountain pens. And I love using these pens. These 2 are my own, and then I also have a navy one coming, which I can show you here. In fact, I kind of want one of every colour just for myself. And I have an evergreen one here, which is also really pretty. I think kind of festive, but also just kind of wintry. And these are, yeah, these would definitely add a bit of luxe to your everyday life. Really, really nice pens. I've had my Bordeaux coloured one for a couple of years now anyway, and really enjoy using it. I'll also have the converter cartridge things, which means that this is the key bit I've been getting really excited about. You can fill straight from an ink bottle. So I'm going to have a huge selection of different coloured inks. I'm going to have ones that shimmer. I'm going to have ones that smell. I don't know what I was thinking. I just got so many of them. I got a little bit carried away. This one is one that I took for myself. It's called Solstice Shimmer. And once it dries, it looks kind of shimmery. You could probably also paint with these. These are 80 mils or maybe 50 mils. I can't remember. But this was a collection Diamine came out with a few years ago. 24 inks for Advent. So I just got a few of them, and then I got some other colours as well. This one is scented and it is sheen as well. So yeah, the colours I mainly got for the inks were like ochres, greens and like blues, different types of blues. And I do have some ink cartridges as well, if you prefer that. I don't have that many converters, but if they sell out, I'll just make a pre-order and you can pre-order one. They won't take long to come. So yeah, I'm really pleased with the selection of stuff I have for this update. It's going to be absolutely a brilliant update, probably my best ever that I've ever done. So I hope you really enjoyed seeing all the goodies and stuff that I'm going to have. I'm excited myself, to be honest. And yeah, thanks for watching if you made it to the end. I guess I may as well say I do have a Patreon channel as well, where I make vlogs every month. So if that's kind of your thing, then I'll leave a link to that below. There'll also be a link to the shop below, and it will be updated with all of this stuff on the 20th of November, 8 PM GMT, next Wednesday. And maybe before we go, Rufus will say hello. Let's see if I can get him over here. Rufine, come here. Come here. That's it, come here. This is Rufus. Oops, oh, good boy. Oh dear. My big boy. He's quite a naughty dog, but he's a good boy too. And Rufus is a Bedlington Whippet. Everyone thinks he's an Irish Wolfhound, but he's not. He wants to go and sit in the seat again. You go back up there. And he's quite a barky lurcher. Has anyone out there got a barky lurcher? I hear it's quite unusual. Anyway, do subscribe if you want to see more videos. And yeah, just shamelessly plugging myself now, so maybe it's time to turn the camera off. Thanks for watching, and until next time, bye.